We all love a reformer for the benefits that it gives us through movement, but here are some of my favorite stretches to do on a reformer. So as we begin, we're going to go onto a setting of about 2 red or 2, whatever your setting colors are, and just bringing your headrest up to a comfortable height so that you can just relax through the back of the headline. We lie down onto our back and just setting yourself into position so that you are in between the shoulder pads. We're going to press out to straight legs and then just cross one ankle over the opposite thigh. You're going to start to bend your knee coming in and then pressing out. This is a move that I call a moving glute stretch. So as you're coming in towards the stopper, you're going to be creating more stretch into the hip area here at the back of the pelvis, maybe even at the front of the leg. Everybody's body is going to feel slightly different depending on the tightnesses and the patterns that we have. We'll go for one more time, travel in and travel out. And then we're going to switch our position. So I'm on the heel of my extended leg, crossing the leg over and then coming in. So I hope you know by now that your body is not the same from side to side, and you will pick that up pretty clearly as you start to do these different stretches that we go through. And you'll feel, oh, that's different on that side, and you don't have to be worried about it. We want to make sure that you've got ease of movement as we're doing these stretches. And something to think about during stretching is to not feel like you're at the end range about to snap. You know, you're still going to get benefit by doing the movement of in and out, and not always just feeling like you're at that end range and feeling not so good. Taking your legs now onto the foot bar, wide position, you can hold your shoulder pads just for a little bit of base of support, and you're going to rotate your one leg down onto the foot bar as close as it can go, and then getting the other knee down to the side. So this is a great stretch and twist of your lower back, but it's awesome at opening out through the front of your thigh. And then bringing the legs across, and we're going to go again, laying your shin as close towards the bed surface or the bar surface as possible, and coming back. Now, this is a range we call internal rotation on the leg that's on the bar, external rotation on the other leg. And you may find one side, again, much easier to do than the other. So for me, this is not my easier side, and I'm really enjoying that feeling of, oh, wow, that is different. And then again, one more time to each direction. So again, if you're nowhere near the foot bar, it doesn't matter. You're on your way there. You'll be feeling all of this opening that's happening. From here, we're just going to roll ourselves over and bring you up into a sitting position. So I'm going to take the spring setting back down to a spring choice of 1. So that could be 1 red, it could be a blue and a yellow. Again, your color system is going to be different to mine. This is a combination of stretches. Firstly, we're going to get a groin stretch. So making sure that you can sit over the edge of your carriage is your stage 1. If you can't do that and you need to be higher up, put a block underneath you, put a mat or a couple of towels underneath you so that you would be a little bit more lifted. If you have a low reformer, it's okay. You can still be there. You'll get an even better stretch. Hands are going to go onto the bar, and we're going to press out to straighten through the arms. Let your feet slide as they need to, stretching through your arms and into your back. And then keeping the arms straight, begin to lift the front of the chest up, looking over the foot bar. And again, lengthening yourself away. Now, if you're familiar with reformer movements, you'll probably know this is the move we do on the long box and lifting into the upper back. So we're still getting upper back control here, but it feels so good as you're pressing away through the arms and then down towards the lower back area. As I mentioned, it's fantastic for the insides of your legs. And then one more time as we press all the way back through and then traveling in towards the front. From this position, we're just going to stay in a nice tall shape, and you're going to take one hand back behind you to find the shoulder pad, and then the other hand, and that's going to open across the front of the chest. Bring the first hand forward and then bring the second hand forward. Let's alternate sides. So other side goes back, reach for the shoulder pad, and then other way, and then to the front, and to the front. So if you can keep your eyes forward and still think of, oh yeah, okay, that's where the shoulder pad is. I'm struggling a little bit on my left side to find where that is for me. So just have a laugh at yourself when things are not going the way you thought they would, rather than getting frustrated with your body. And then to the front. So that was good for opening up across the front of our chest. From here, we're just going to go into a position onto the side. So into our classic standing hip stretch. So I'm going to keep my knee down on the bed surface and then foot up against the shoulder pad. Press out into the lunge. So you're feeling like your hips are pushing forward, but not so much that you're collapsing in your lower back. So you really want to stay strong through the front of that hip area. From here, you're going to maintain this position and send your other arm up towards the ceiling. So the same arm of the leg that's behind, and then just doing a little side bend over, and then returning everything back, hand to the bar and the carriage back home. And again, send yourself out into the lunge. Make sure you stay there. Reach the arm up and over to the side, and then bringing the hand back and closing the bed in. And we'll go for a couple more, pressing out. On this next one, if you would like to add a twist, you're going to turn and look in the direction of the ceiling, and then back to the side, bring it all in and away. And then one more time like that, arm over to the side. Maybe that's enough. Maybe you want to add the gentle twist to look, and then return everything back again. So we're just going to hop over and do the same on the other side. You could crawl over like I do, or you could walk around, whatever is best for your body. And again, we're going to press out into our lunge. Hold that shape. Make sure you're strong and supported. Send your left arm, or my left arm in this case, up and over to the side, and then back in and return. So as I'm doing the movement, I'm actually making more fluid through my arm. So I'm making kind of like a circle feeling of my arm going over the top of my head and then bringing it back onto the bar before I return. On the next two, if it's there for you and you want to add it in, then over to the top and then turning to look up, back to side, and then returning the arm and the leg. And then one last time, make sure your standing arm is supportive of the movement. Turn to twist, back to side, and then all the way to the front. I'm going to lower my spring setting now just to 1 blue, which could be a 3/4 in your case. It could be a half a spring, just a little lighter than what we did there. So you're going to take a stand position. If you have a low reformer, I suggest that you do this in kneeling. Otherwise, I'm standing pretty much in the center of my carriage. I'm going to go into a squat position. So I have one hand on the foot bar, one hand on the shoulder pad, and I'm going to separate my arms out. So your length, keep your back nice and straight through this one. And we're going to do a shoulder rotation. So one shoulder is going to turn and look down towards the floor as your head looks over the opposite side, and then back to center. And then we'll do that facing into the opposite direction. So just getting a nice stretch across the shoulders, again down into the hands. This is great for your upper back rotation, but it is also amazing for the nerves that are coming out underneath the collarbone and down towards the hands. One last time as we look to the foot bar side, and then back to the center and bringing it all the way in. And then we'll go ahead and do the opposite direction. So walking around, again, find your setup. Hand is onto the foot bar, hand is onto the shoulder pad. Nice wide position with your legs. Drop into the squat shape, and then again, looking towards the hand on the padded surface, and then looking towards the hand on the bar surface. So as you're doing this twist from one side to the other, the bed is staying fairly neutral and your hips are staying neutral. So we're not doing too much of other body parts moving, just focusing on the upper back. Last time, and then bringing everything all the way home. So we're going to go back into our standing lunge to finish. So placing your foot up against the shoulder pad again. And we need to add on that extra spring. So you're back onto the setting of a 1. And then from there, we're going to press the leg away into your lunge, hold your shape, and then we're going to start to straighten the front leg. So picking your foot up off of the floor and then placing your foot back down onto the bed. And again, pressing back, front leg lengthens, foot lifts off, and then toes come down and return. We'll do 2 more like that as we rock towards the heel, pressing out, and then return in. And then final one like that as we press away, toes lifting and coming all the way back in. It feels so good for the back of the leg. Let's switch our sides over. Again, setup is key with everything that we do. So find your position. You want to feel strong. You don't want to be collapsed into your upper body. And then straightening through the front leg, lifting your toes up and then placing them back down. And again, press out and pull back in. 2 more times like that. Remember, if you ever need support for your knees, down on the carriage, go ahead and grab a little mat, a little towel, give yourself the support and encouragement that you need to get through this. Well, that's just a few of my favorite stretches. You know, many people think Pilates is just about stretching, but really it's about moving the body in all of its directions. So I hope you enjoyed that. Remember, if you like the content, to like the video, comment, subscribe, share, do all those wonderful things so that more people can benefit from all the wonderful work that we like to put out into the world on YouTube. From Bear and I, bye. See you again soon.